If you die when you are still a child, is your life whole, or half, or zero? Hi everyone, I'm Jaya and I'm here with my very first 5-minute book review. The first book that I've picked to talk about is on the JCB Prize 2020 shortlist and it's called Gin Patrol on the Purple Line by Deepa Anapara. So let's get started. Well, Gin Patrol on the Purple Line is not for the faint hearted. It's based on real disappearances of children from marginalized communities, and the book packs a fair punch. The story revolves around many themes: growing up poor, communal castes and class divides, extremism, targeting of poor Muslims by law enforcement, the privilege that rich people enjoy in the eyes of the law, and most importantly, the vulnerability and innocence of children as they try to deal with adult problems. So, here are all the things that I loved in Gin Patrol. Spoiler alert. The first thing I loved about this book is the child narrator and his perspective. The story is narrated by Jay, a roughly 10-year-old boy who lives in a basti next to Bhoot Bazaar. I personally am biased towards stories that are narrated by children because children have such a unique, matter of fact, but still imaginative way of perceiving the world that just makes me want to listen attentively. And Jay is an amazing character. He's so full of life, he has this unique point of view, and I loved his enthusiasm at being a. He also enrolls his best friends, Pari, who's super smart and will give you Hermione Granger vibes, and the reluctant Faiz in his jasusi. Jay is so hilarious and observant. Just listen to what he has to say. There is nothing in this world that I am afraid of, I say, which is another lie. I'm scared of JCBs, exams, gins that are probably real, and mass slams. Secondly, the realities on the portrayal of law enforcement in India. One of the major themes in this book is Jay's growing disillusionment with the law enforcement. At the start of the book, he's so enthralled by real life crime shows and he wants to assist in solving the case of his missing classmate Bahadur. He also knows that people in the basti keep the police at an arm's length because of their past experiences in dealing with the police. We see through his eyes the pervasive corruption and exploitation of the very people the police is supposed to protect. Jay says so himself. He says, they are supposed to serve and protect us, but the cops I see around Bhoot Bazaar only ever do the opposite of that. He sees these cops take the last valuable possession, a gold chain, from a mother who's already distraught by the disappearance of her child. They call a young missing girl a whore just because she looked pretty and owned an expensive phone. They arrest Muslim youth without evidence just because they belong to the wrong community, but show respect and deference to the actual culprits who are upper class, who own high-rise apartments. Even when the real culprits are found, the young Muslim boys continue to rot in prison. Such is the apathy of the existing police system, which is so close to reality, it makes my skin crawl. Third, the political commentary and the depiction of the communal divide. Jay, like any other child, is influenced by the ideologies of adults around him, even when he has evidence to the contrary. For example, this is what he says of his best friend Faiz. Faiz will never kill me. He even forgets he is a Muslim sometimes. Most bastis have overlords or pradhans who are basically glorified gundas with political connections, and they keep taking bribes so that people can live in peace. Jay's basti near Bhoot Bazaar is no different. The Pradhan is a corrupt man who divides the basti along communal lines for political gain. He deliberately fans the flames of communal mistrust in the community. For example, he organizes a Hindu puja which is immediately followed by the arrest of Muslim boys. Despite the real culprits being found, the basti keeps blaming the minority Muslim community, and I really enjoyed these lifelike depictions. I also loved how Jay addresses rich people by calling them hi-fi, people who live in hi-fi flats, and I think just the term hi-fi signifies the vast distance between his life and the lives of those people with needs. Fourth, diversity in poverty. Poverty and vulnerability exist in many forms, and Deepa Anapara explores so many of them. From vulnerable women on street crossings in the middle of the night, to children abandoned on trains, to rag pickers, and the diverse children that go missing from the basti, Anapara uses her journalistic background to tell so many small but perceptive stories within this larger narrative. Fifth, the oppressive smog. I know what you must be thinking, like how can smog be a good thing? Well, It's not smog exactly, but the oppressive atmosphere it depicts that really adds to the experience of reading this book. If you have ever been to North India from October to February, you know how smog obscures everything and makes everything feel a little more dark and dangerous. In this book, too, the smog starts settling in on Bhoot Bazaar just as the first child disappears and only starts to lift when the culprits are identified. This signifies the real danger the children are in and really sets the mood for a difficult, important story. In fact, not just the small, Deepa Anapara's depictions of Bhoot Bazaar, of the Basti, etc. are so vivid and so graphic you just feel like you're there with Jay, seeing how the narrative unfolds. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Do tell me what are some other crime novels that you have read and loved in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and tell your friends so they can watch it too. I release videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Finally, follow me on Instagram because that's where I post every single day. Thanks for watching. Bye!